In today's podcast, we are going to talk about innovation and what it does mean for a company like PwC. What better way to start this episode than with a quote of the Exponential Leader, Christian Heinz. Our mission at PwC Exponential is to connect a cross-line of services and industries to systematically create and scale tech-enabled innovations for our clients beyond our traditional services. Our key enablers are nurturing an innovation culture within the firm, building partnerships externally, and fast-tracking the development of new services and products. We are going to catch up with Christian Heinz, tax partner and exponential leader, and Giordana, associate in the exponential team, and we're going to talk about why putting innovation at the core of a company's culture is so important. So, how are you doing today?
Ladies first.
Well, I'm doing very well. Today we have an hackathon day, actually, so it's a busy day, but also a very stimulating one in the innovation team, so I'm happy.
Okay, and how about you, Christian?
Well, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. It's Monday morning, snow, so that's quite good for the mood as well. So not only gray, a little bit of white. As Giordana mentioned, hackathon day. So I think as well here some good news for the team that we can move things. So overall, I would say a good start into the week, indeed.
Okay, so to really jump right into the topic, could you tell me what innovation means to you?
Well, as I am a designer, so maybe I'm a bit biased. As to me, design means to make sense out of things. I think that innovation is very related to that as well, because it doesn't only mean to look things from another perspective and so to look beyond, but it also means to have the ability to look at things with a synthesis, to really find common patterns, signs, and symbols that help you to also integrate different views and perspectives, because innovation is also a collaborative effort. So if you are not able to integrate and to put together the perspectives of different peoples and to work in a collaborative way, I think you cannot really be an innovator. And obviously, yes, there is also curiosity, there is also passion,
and to add from, I would say, a more high-level point of view, I think for us as a firm, it is important to innovate in a sense that we bring out a new product, a new service into the market with knowing that there's as well a specific client demand, a client need around that specific topic or this specific product or service. And I think overall, if you look at the definition of innovation, that's it. But for sure, the points Giordana has mentioned, they are as well play an important part in that overall context.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think it is so important for a company to constantly strive for innovation?
Well, at the end of the day, if you start to stand still, you are dead. So that means for us it is very important to continue to evolve, to continue to find out what is really needed in the market, what our clients need, how can we help them, how can we support them. Because if we don't do, most probably someone else will do. And here I prefer being the one front running and innovative and coming up with new things than the one kind of running behind.
So following up on what Christian was saying also before, and thank you for adding that, I think that as he was saying, it's really important to map and to be aware of the client's perspective. And also, for example, if you think about what our life was like just 1 year ago, no one ever heard about ChatGPT. We didn't have also from a socio-political perspective a very, very different situation from the one we have now. So if a company is not agile enough and able to adapt quickly and effectively, then you simply are left behind, and that's not good, I guess.
Okay, and as you are kind of the center of excellence when it comes to innovation at PwC, what do you do to foster innovation here in our company?
Well, at the end of the day, the exponential team has been tasked to support innovation in our organization, and at the end of the day, we have 3 pillars we are working on. But I think the one we are discussing right now, which is the most important one in that specific context you mentioned, is the one around the innovation culture of our organization. So what do we do around this specific area? Before I go into that, maybe just to add the other 2 pillars we have, there's a pillar around ideation and incubation. And there's a second pillar around scouting and partnership. But here it's really about the innovation culture in the firm. And I think here what we do is we provide occasions where people can come together, where they can exchange, where they can share their ideas, where they can develop the ideas. And as well, we put out challenges, for example, the dragons, just to stimulate as well people to bring up their ideas, because I'm personally very convinced we have 3,500 people and there are so many good ideas in their mind. It's just as well that they need to be encouraged to bring them out, to express them. And then we can really leverage as well on that big potential we have already. Yeah?
So, adding upon what Christian just said, we are actually doing so many things, because sometimes if you think about a big and old organization, old meaning that it has a long history as PwC, you don't necessarily associate with innovation, but this is something completely different from what I found out in this organization here in PwC Luxembourg, and specifically also in the innovation team, because we have initiatives, as Christian was saying, from an innovation culture perspective. We are launching an internal Gen AI mastery program. So we are also organizing innovation methodologies, events in order to upskill employees from that point of view. And really anybody who has an idea, anybody who wants to innovate anything from any perspective can simply come to us, and we are more than happy to support them and to make that idea grow from a business perspective, obviously always matching our clients' needs. So I think that from this perspective, I'm really happy of being in this kind of collaborative working environment.
And you just mentioned something very interesting, the dragons. What has been maybe your biggest success story from that format so far?
I think it's an initiative which has, I would say, just run once already, and we are currently in the phase of running the second one. For the first one, for sure, we have had a winner, and we supported them to develop the idea, to bring it out, to incubate the idea, to make it ready for the go-to-market. We help them to really get to this point and to roll it out. And what we are currently as well doing is kind of asking for feedback on how the things are going, how is the market perceiving it, as well to think about whether our implemented process is really, I would say, going in a good direction. So we do kind of as well a back testing these days. And I think overall it was already a huge success to have brought it out. And I let Giordana maybe share a little bit the details on how exactly she has supported in that specific exercise.
Yeah, I can talk, for example, about one of our success stories, that is ESG Data Compass. They were developing a service to support our clients with navigating the complex ESG regulations area. And what my support was mainly from a creative perspective. In this case, actually, the whole process of the dragons is very, very creative. But in that case specifically, I participated to 2 workshops in which they had to redefine the value proposition of the service, or actually, to say it better, to implement the value proposition. And I also supported them in developing an effective and captivating storytelling, because we also helped them to find the right metaphors to also deliver the key message that they were selling to their clients. That was the compass in this case, so to really navigate the ESG regulations aspect. And for me, it was really a creative and also stimulating experience where I learned a lot.
I think it's very nice that you give them basically a framework, that you create one where people can bring their maybe startup ideas, even though I think as a Big Four sometimes we are perceived as more of an old company with a little bit old-fashioned.
Yeah.
And that's also something that also tell to the candidates, we are maybe a very big company, but we love innovation, we will listen to you, and we will, take into consideration if you have a really good idea that we can help you with.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned here is important. The perception is something which is most probably not correct in the market. I think we are doing many different things, and as well with the focus on innovation. And I think this is as well our idea to broaden up that knowledge a little bit. Just to really demonstrate as well to people the wide range of things we are doing and offering clients or as well potential people who would like to join us.
I think what the Dragons is a good example of is like how you brought innovation to the staff. Because sometimes when you think about innovation, it's more of a top-down approach. The leadership comes up with something and then it trickles down and it kind of impacts how our day-to-day and how we live. So what do you think could people do more of from all levels to contribute to this innovation culture?
So I think what you mentioned is right. There might as well be the perception that it's most often top-down. And yes, there are situations when it is top-down driven. Nevertheless, with the innovation culture pillar we discussed before, we clearly try as well to build the environment, to encourage people to speak up, to bring up their ideas and to do not shy away from doing so. Because I think as well the one or the other person might a little bit be simply too shy to express what's going on in their mind and what could be really beneficial for our clients, for our organization. And here what we really try to achieve is lower the barrier, bring people together, maybe as well make the experience there as well other people having some ideas, they start to speak up, to exchange and to really develop something which is of value for our clients and for the firm.
What do you think about it? As you're a junior within the team, how do you see things?
Obviously, I agree with everything that has been said until now. What I can add from my perspective is that the main point of the innovation culture pillar is really to make innovation accessible to everybody. So when we say that really anyone can propose anything from any point of view, is that we know that sometimes it's not easy because people don't know where to start. Also, when we ask them to ideate on something, if you have never done it and you are not familiar with that approach, that could sound difficult to some kind of different mindsets from ours. So during the innovation culture events, but also during the ideation challenges that we launch, what we enable people to do is really to be upskilled with the right tools, methodologies, and frameworks that they need to learn how to innovate, because that's something that can be learned. It's not something that you are born with or that it's like it only belongs to genius perspectives, as you said, only coming from the very, very top leadership. And it's also really important to underline that we value both. We value strategic innovation from a top-down perspective because that's important and that's also a matter of experience and leadership, but we also really value the open innovation side that is more bottom up, and so please come to us with any of your ideas, and if you don't know where to start, join our initiatives.
Maybe important here to add, I think we have a great team in place, very knowledgeable and as well very accessible, so it's as well quite easy to enter into discussions with the different team members, to maybe as well pre-sound a potential idea before you kind of bring it up to the wider audience. So there are as well different options on how you can interact and start to share your ideas. So.
Okay. And as we're currently at the beginning of January, what is something maybe you hope to do this year or something that you may have already planned?
So if you look a little bit for the first half year, if I may, kind of looking back. So we are kind of have composed the team over the last 6 months, and I would say we are now more ready to go. So what we are currently looking into is in the different ideas which have been already brought up to see, okay, how can we move them further? How can we support people to bring these things to life so that hopefully from a fiscal year point of view, within the next 6 months, we have something really countable of interest for our clients to kind of as well do something good for the firm as a whole and to contribute as well to the overall firm objective. So that's a little bit the hope we have for the next 6 months, not looking further because I would have as well some ideas for a longer period.
Well, from my perspective, obviously, I share the insights that Christian said. So I guess that we are willing we are willing to foster also the incubation and scouting and technologies pillars. So to really make the ideas that we are collecting grow from a business perspective. So that's very important for us. But at the same time, what we would love to, maybe also from a more longer term perspective for the whole year, is really to change a bit the mindset, the cultural mindset inside the company, meaning that we would really love to foster more and more a collaborative approach to innovation that triggers people's willing to participate to innovation challenges, but also to simply ideate or to contribute to already incubated ideas that could be supported more from a business model perspective. So to really, from any perspective, to really build a stronger network inside and hopefully maybe later even outside the company.
And I think here I would love as well to get more people involved and contributing, because what they do is they shape the future of the firm, meaning at the end they shape the future as well of their future employer. And I think that's really a great opportunity. It is just as well important to take this point of view, what you're doing and what you're contributing to.
Our longer team perspective objective, I don't know if I can say it in the podcast, worst of the cases we'll cut it, but it's like to become the best in class innovation team in Luxembourg. So I don't know, I mean, then you can choose if you want to give it or not, but that was a fun insight. It's our vision.
Yeah, I think dream big, have a great objective, and work hard to get there.
No, but I think it's a great takeaway. The framework is there, but people still need to take the initiative, take the step forward, and, create that space for themselves where they can showcase the idea. And I think it's also great that you give them, the room to approach individually before broadcasting the idea maybe to a broader audience, or even more of the shy and introvert people or those who are not very sure about the idea get the opportunity to put it out there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it comes back to something which is, a key element in the way we are working. It's teamwork. I mean, we as the Exponential team, we are there to help and support, but we will most probably not be able to do everything on our own. So we need as well to have this kind of collaboration, what Giordana mentioned, team interaction to make it a success and to make it happen.
And if I may add an additional insight that I actually was reflecting during this interview is that in a big company like this, what's also really great is that you have the chance to interact with people from so many different backgrounds, experiences. Also, here we have like a very senior leader perspective and a very junior one. But I think that our perspectives are not so different, so that's really great. So from some point of view, they are a bit complementary, but they are also very matching. So I think that you can really have this kind of interactions in a big company like this, and with people that share also your same collaborative working culture approach, and that's not something that you can give for granted, I think.
Fully agree. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. Thank you very much.
That's it for today's episode, and if you don't want to miss out on our upcoming stories, hit subscribe and feel free to share. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening, and see you for the next episode of Casual Side.